Hi, today we're going to talk about the Toronto Condo Market, and we're going to focus in on the investor segment of this asset class. We've seen a lot of money being made in the Toronto Condo Market in the last few years, but the music is starting to stop now as we see more doom and gloom entering the media about the health of this segment of the market. So let's dive in a little bit and talk about what's going on. First off, if you didn't know, there's an incredible amount of investor interest in the Toronto condo market. We've got over a third of the units in Toronto are owned by investors, according to Statistics Canada, which is quite a bit. And they're not being sold as much. So the development community that's been soaking up all of this investor interest, as all of these equity gains have made a lot of people millions and millions of dollars in the GTA market, that they're not coming out to the development show centers as much anymore. We're seeing sales fall down by as much as 79% according to this article. And in fact, that's a 20-year low for the GTA. So this is certainly a notable difference in market activity for the Greater Toronto Area condo market. Now, some parts of this that you need to know about are the speculative interests in this, where it's not real estate investors, okay? A genuine real estate investor purchases a property, they add value to it, they're owning it for a long time. This is a speculative play where investors are walking into a development show center, they're putting their name down on a contract, they're plunking down their deposit that the developer's asking for, and then they're essentially gambling that when the unit is built and they actually have to pay for this unit, that it will be worth more money than what they paid for it, and they'll get a return on just the paper that's been in there, and basically a return on the deposit funds that they've left with the developer during the construction period. And a lot of these investors have sought to assign their units before they're even built, so they don't even have to qualify for the financing or outlay any additional cash. Well, that segment of the investment market is long gone now. It's dried up. Nobody is buying these assignment deals from these speculators anymore. And you can see here, those investors that plan to do this are now in a precarious position because they don't have a buyer for it. And so if they can't qualify for the mortgage, they could lose their deposit and possibly face consequences from the legal teams of the developers from whom they've agreed to purchase these units. So why is all of this happening in the GTA right now? Well, it's really just the same thing that's happening to the real estate market across the whole country, where the government of Canada, by way of the Bank of Canada, is trying to slow down all of these crazy price increases that we're seeing basically across the whole country. And the Bank of Canada has raised their interest rates dramatically for this, and that's an eight hikes in the last year have meant that it's much harder to qualify for mortgages in Canada right now. And so anybody who's purchased a condo and in the GTA and is thinking about closing on it and getting qualified for the mortgage, well, it's way harder to do that now than it was when these deals were papered up 2 years ago. And it's having an effect across the whole market. We're seeing prices across all of Toronto coming down by 14%, sales down by almost half at 44%, so a dramatic decrease there. But that's not the most risky thing about this for anybody who's in this segment or this boat of either having purchased a pre-construction unit and about to take possession of it, or anybody who's closed on one in the last couple of years. There has been a pile of new condo sales in the last few years here, and you can see in all of 2021 and in the first half of 2022, tons of units are being sold to develop or to new purchasers. So there's lots of units that are yet to hit the market. And we're seeing here the resale market is changing in the GTA. That's this market here where prices are coming down and sales are coming down. This is the resale market that's happening. But you have all of this developer interest in these new units that are about to hit the market. And if they're owned by investors, and particularly these assignment speculators who never intended on actually closing on and taking possession of these units, well, they're going to put them onto the resale market, which is just going to make this way worse because you're going to add even more inventory to a market where sales are coming down. It's going to drive prices down even further. Now, in addition to that, it's not just these new units that are being sold to condominium purchasers, which could include genuine owner occupiers, like people that want to live in their condo when they buy it. The development community is seeing signs like these rental rates increasing, and this is really the only lifeline to the condominium investors in the GTA, is that there is a lot of investor interest out there right now. But that's not the only, they don't just have to compete with each other. There's also the purpose-built rentals that the government of Canada is really pushing. The CMHC is making it much easier to finance these new rental projects. They want to see rents come down. They're trying to fight this, and there's almost just as many. If you look here, 19,000 units of purpose-built apartments under construction in the GTA. And if you look over here, we're talking in 2022, we had just over 20,000. So it's almost 50-50 on that. And that's going to have an effect on the rental market and the demand for that as these units are built. So no one's got a crystal ball on that, but I'm just not convinced that there's going to be enough rental interest to account for all of these units that are going to hit this market. Now, it should be said that these increasing interest rates are going to keep tenants as tenants because they can't afford to enter the market due to the increased qualification requirements and how hard it will be to get a mortgage with these higher rates. So there will be a greater pool of tenants. And that's really the only thing that we don't know. Is there going to be enough tenants or new people moving to Canada and people that can't afford to buy now to offset all of this demand for new stuff that has been built, both on the pre-construction side for condominium units and purpose-built rental units. Now, why do I see this as a concern? Well, I had to live through this in my market during one of our recent booms in the Calgary market here. And we saw this in 2013 and 2014. And then when our market in Calgary shifted in 2015, we had a hangover, just a glut of apartment-style condominium units that took the better part of half a decade for our market to absorb. And you can see here, this is from 2017 when we had our market crash here, not crash, but shift in 2015. This is the months of supply. So the amount of unsold inventory went from a balanced market of around 2.5 to very much into buyer's market territory. It's 7 months worth of inventory. It was very hard. You could basically had to give away your condo. So many purchasers had no equity in these units at all, and they were really ugly part of our real estate market. And I hope this doesn't happen to the GTA, but it looks as though there's going to be some pain here in store for purchasers of apartment-style condominium units in the GTA. You can see here, Calgary apartment prices came down after that. They obviously did not increase, and this is because, again, the same thing happened in Calgary, where in our boom years, 2013, 2014, we had all of these purchasers buying new construction units. The developer community loved it. They built a lot more properties for people to buy to meet the demand. But then when they hit the market, they hit our market when it was already soft and added all of this extra inventory, which resulted in these super high a month's worth of supply and a very much oversupplied apartment condo market here in Alberta. And you can see here prices fell down for the remaining year on a lot of that stuff. So I think that it's going to be a challenging market for anybody who does business in this particular space. If you've got a pre-construction condo, you really need to look at the numbers closely to see if this is a good investment for you and what this might mean. And you need to get wise on the type of tenant that could rent your unit from you after it's been completed. That's really what worked for investors in the Calgary market when our market shifted. And so getting a really good understanding of the type of tenant that will rent your unit in the GTA to beat out all of the competition and the lazy investors would be the first thing that you could do to protect yourself. And in addition to that, getting some equity together to reduce the amount of debt that you have to take on so that you got a good income picture and some buffer there once you take possession of your unit would be another recommendation that I would have for you. So I hope you liked the video here today. If you did, it would be great if you could give me a like and perhaps subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next video.